Hi, everybody. Is that going to be distracting? That's going to distract me. I could just move. Right. I wanted to make a video specifically because I was talking to myself. Okay. No. Specifically because I was talking to myself and I got the thought, why don't I just record this? And I didn't organize my thoughts like I normally do when I record videos. So we're just going to see where this goes. But what I wanted to talk about is extrasensory abilities, and to try to word that better, basically just using your senses outside of the physical senses, like what you're perceiving in this physical space with your sight and touching things, which is extremely impressive to me. How we can just examine our environment, and every single thing in our environment we're picking up on, and all this information we're putting together. I'm trying to still get my camera straight. We're picking up all this information super quickly and we're not even noticing it. We're getting so used to that we don't even notice how in less than a second we're observing all this information and sending it to our brain to perceive what we are seeing and what we're touching. But then there's senses outside of that where you can close your eyes and you can still go back into that environment and perceive things, but with different senses. It's not just seeing the stuff and touching it. You're feeling how this feels energetically to you. I need to move over more. Okay. So, and that does have a lot to do with the topic of being a psychic. And when I say psychic, I usually mean that as like an umbrella term, because there's a lot of things that relate to it, which using extrasensory abilities or just sensing things outside of your physical environment or your physical senses, or even just being an empath or being an empath. I feel that all falls into just the umbrella term of being a psychic. So I mean a lot of stuff when I say psychic. I don't normally just mean what people think whenever I say psychic, which is, oh, well, can you tell me what I'm thinking right now or what I did this morning? And no, I cannot, probably. But I wanted to talk about the different levels of if I were to do a package plan of me feeling into your being and what I can do with that. All the levels, I have not worded this. I don't know how to word this. I feel like I might get help from my guides to speak. I want to eventually create a package plan for people and for readings, to do readings. But there's different levels to doing readings, as there's a very simple version of that where it's just like how I just described with sensing things around you. You can go into your environment and sense those things. No, you're not getting in this video. Where you can sense those things, and that's probably the easiest version for me to do, because I do it so often that it's very natural for me, and that would probably be something really quick to do for someone. But then there's another version of this where it can go deeper, but I don't want to talk about that first. I kind of want to talk about how you can start this for yourself. Like, where would I even start to be able to practice using my senses outside of the physical things? How would I experience my environment energetically? And I say a good practice for me, or a good practice for you, could be, I wouldn't say, you could be in your room right now, wherever you are right now. You can perceive this with your eyes, and just notice every detail in your room. Not every detail, but notice as many details as you can. You could probably feel as many details as you can. How does the walls feel? How does stuff like that feel? Then you close your eyes. And for this, you do have to acknowledge, which it comes into play of the logical mind and then the spiritual mind, which is pretty creative. Spiritual mind is pretty creative, and it's very infinite. And logical mind obviously goes off of logic. The human mind is very finite, and is going to take these things and say, you using your imagination is just, well, you using your imagination. It's just make believe. None of this stuff is real. But when you are going into an imaginative space, this is an actual energetic space you can connect with. And you can feel and experience things from this energetic space. You can perceive things from this energetic space. And I will stay in the simple layer of this, because as I said earlier, it can go deeper. But the very beginning of this is a real space that you can connect with. So you looked at your room, you looked at whatever environment you are, and now you close your eyes and you imagine that environment within your mind now. But you're going to imagine yourself projecting out of your body and just walking around this space. And it could be difficult at first, but you don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to be in first person view walking around your room at first and perfectly being able to hold that image. Because what's also important, what I'm going to get into next, the more you bring up this image of the space within your mind, and you're starting to be aware of the space within your imagination, within your mind, within your third eye, you see the space now with your eyes closed. Now you're going to not focus too much on what you're seeing and how this stuff looks, but how it feels to you. So, let's say you are in a room that has carpet. You're going to use your energy hands, your imaginative hands. You can call them your imagination hands, so it doesn't offend the ego or logical mind. Use your imagination hands and touch your carpet. How does the carpet feel to you in this space? And you already know how this carpet feels because you're in this room every day. So we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to go somewhere else. And let's create a space. Where can we go? I feel like how do I want to word this? Usually people go to beaches when they're practicing this. And I don't know why that is, but usually they'll say, okay, you're going to imagine yourself at a beach. And I guess because if you've ever been to a beach, and if you haven't even been to a beach, it's really easy for you to perceive a beach for some reason. Even if you've never been to a beach, I've never been to a beach in my life, but I can easily perceive a beach with my eyes closed. It's just water and sand. But if I wanted to perceive the Eiffel Tower, I know how the Eiffel Tower looks, but do I know how the area around the Eiffel Tower looks? There's probably gates, there's probably people there with pictures. I'm assuming there's bushes and clouds. I don't really know how much this area looks, but I can try to make it up an image. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do a beach. You're at this beach, and you know how this beach looks. There's water and sand, but we're not going to think too much about how this looks within our mind. We're going to focus more on how this feels. And that is where you start to practice using your sensory abilities outside of the physical. You're starting to focus on things. How do things feel outside of you in energetic spaces, which are real spaces? So you're at this beach. How does the sand feel? How does the weather here feel? Is the sand warm? Is the sand cold? Is the sun out? How does the sun make your skin feel? Is it warm? Is it windy here? Do you feel any emotions? Use your imagination play hands to touch the stuff in this environment. If you're walking around your house and you have an item in your house, you can look at that item and then close your eyes and walk towards that item within your mind, within the energetic space, and use your energy pretend hands to pick up this item. Does it feel different than it normally does when you pick it up with your physical hands? Does it make you feel different? You can do this with crystals. It's really fun because you can start to feel more into crystals than you normally do when you're physically picking them up. But that is just a practice to how you can start to practice these things, how you can start to practice using extrasensory abilities. That's basically what it is, just a practice. And like I said, it goes deeper, and this is a thought I've been having about if I do want to make package plans for people who would like me to give them readings or to explore their energy vibrations instead of just going to beaches, how would I put that as a plan? I feel I would have a beginner one, or I would have one that's pretty simple to do, which would probably be the shortest time-wise. I would have them like a 15-minute session, one that's longer, and then I'll have an hour session that's going to be like the deeper one. But the first one, the first one, that one would probably look like, me just projecting myself into their being, seeing that stuff that's on the surface, giving them a general reading, feeling into what the surface of their energy feels like, or if I can't think of any examples of that, but I think that's a good explanation. And what does something deeper than that look like? Well, I would take what I feel on the surface and go deeper, more deeper into what's going on subconsciously in their energetic field. And if you have any energy imbalances, any ailments that feel imbalanced, I would be going deeper into those things, feeling if I could find any patterns within there and see if I can touch your energy with any healing or love, or see what spirit has to offer for you, so that you, again, if you have any energy imbalances, you could bring these back into balance. And if you need help with that, this plan, the one that's a little deeper than the first one, this one would be me helping bring that back into balance if you feel like you need help with it. But again, you can do this yourself. I don't want to advertise this as you only need my help to do this. I feel like I'm here as just a guide, and I can also guide myself to help you with your imbalances, but I can also guide you to help yourself with your imbalances. It's either A, you choose to love yourself and do these things for yourself, or B, you allow me to help guide you to show you how to do that. And what's deeper than that? What's deeper than the second thing? That one's kind of complicated. That one would involve soul retrievals, which seems like a whole nother video in itself, because of how infinite that conversation could be and how infinite a soul retrieval could be. And what it even means to have a piece of your soul being lost. It's not really lost in a sense, but you can have a piece of your soul from live times ago that got stuck in an energetic space, and it was hard for them to let go of this thing, and it feels like it's impacting your current energy or your current circumstance, because this soul isn't letting go of something. And I would go and retrieve that soul, which takes a lot more energy out of me, and that's why I feel like it goes a bit deeper. And then also stuff that goes deeper, maybe chakra clearings. I don't know if I want to talk about chakra removal, because saying something like that I'd have to make a video on that too. This stuff, the more deeper stuff, is like videos on their own, because of they're more in-depth conversations. But that's pretty much the thoughts I was having. I kind of wanted to address my thoughts lately, because my thoughts are starting to come together in a sense that how can I start to organize this thing that I'm trying to create? And I'm figuring out ways to do that, and I think that's all. I want to share. I don't know how organized this was. Again, I didn't organize my thoughts before this, but this is everything that was on my mind. Hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully I got something out of it too. But that's all I'm going to share. And if you watched to the end of this, thank you so much, and take care.